So they whisper to the nanny, guess who you're about to meet? You know, they just want to make sure you're comfortable working with Meghan because of her reputation.
All right, buckle up, because in Montecito this week, Harry and Meghan are back in the headlines. And this time, it's not about Netflix, royal feuds, or wine flops. Oh no, they're on the prowl for a new nanny. And let me tell you, this isn't your average mind the kids and warm up some mac and cheese situation. This search sounds more like The Hunger Games meets America's Next Top Model, Royal Edition. Only the prize isn't a modeling contract, it's surviving the Sussex household.
Once the agency, listen to this, once the agency creates a list of potential hires, you meet with that nanny. Then you have to meet with another one of Meghan's assistants. These are two separate auditions, interviews, but auditions.
According to my very well-placed source in a California employment agency, this role isn't your run-of-the-mill watch the kids, fold some laundry gig. Oh no. The ad, which my producers somehow accidentally got their hands on, describes an extraordinary opportunity for someone with warmth, flexibility, discretion, and apparently the endurance of an Olympic athlete. Responsibilities include morning and evening routines, school runs, laundry, play dates, bedtime, and being available 24/7. Translation: you will be the parent-in-chief while the actual parents are busy filming something that may or may not get picked up by Netflix.
That I spent a lot of time with Meghan. The way she treated me can only be described as dehumanizing.
Now here's where it gets delicious. Meghan claims they've had their current nanny for 5 years, a woman she absolutely loves, who's leaving because she had a baby and wants to spend more time with her newborn. Sweet, right? Except, my source says this nanny has begged to transition into a cushy house manager role for ages, but Meghan kept hiring and firing so often that the poor woman couldn't escape the nursery. And now, apparently, she's swapping sleepless nights with Archie and Lily for sleepless nights managing Meghan Markle's household. I'm not sure that's an upgrade. And the hiring process? Buckle in. First, you interview with the agency, then with one of Meghan's assistants, then, only after signing an NDA tighter than the Queen's updo, you meet Harry and Meghan themselves. Except you're supposed to pretend you had no idea you'd be meeting them. Yes, the agency has strict instructions not to reveal the clients' identities, but they allegedly whisper it to the candidates anyway, just to make sure you're comfortable with Meghan's reputation. So the nannies must put on their best wide-eyed, "Oh, you're the Harry and Meghan" performance, like they're auditioning for the crown.
Your wife tells me she's not coming, shows up on the arm of Serena Williams. Havoc, absolute havoc is wreaked on this charity event. And Dr. Sophie Shandaka does the media rounds too. And the Charity Commission says, hey, you know, we can't investigate individual accusations of bullying. So do we see bullying and racism as a whole?
And honestly, why isn't this a reality show? It's got everything: the secrecy, the trials, the awkward fake surprise. One minute you're sipping herbal tea, the next you're dodging questions about your actual feelings on the Duchess of Montecito. But wait, the nanny drama is just the amuse-bouche. This week, Meghan's second wine launch fizzled harder than a wet sparkler. The bottles have less alcohol than the first batch and somehow still aren't selling out. Her 44th birthday passed with more of a polite nod than a global celebration. And Harry? He stepped down, allegedly pushed, from the charity he co-founded in his mother's memory. The organization's name means forget-me-not, but apparently they forgot him with Olympic speed. And then there's Dr. Sophie Shandaka, the charity CEO Harry once publicly criticized. In retaliation, she's spilling about threatening texts, a polo event allegedly hijacked by Netflix cameras, and Meghan ghosting the invite, only to later swan in on Serena Williams' arm like it was the Met Gala. The Charity Commission called both sides a mess and washed their hands of it. But Dr. Sophie says she's not done. She's bringing in her own investigator, ready to label Harry's team as bullies and possibly racists. Line so scandalously messy, even the Queen's corgis are judging. This isn't just jam. It's a case study in celebrity delusion, branding gone bad, and what happens when royal fairy tales meet retail flops. Let's break it down, shall we?
I don't know what world she thinks she's living in right now if she hasn't stepped foot outside the sort of gates of Montecito to understand that I don't know if your average American is going to be dishing out $14 for a pot of jam, or it's not really jam.
So Meghan Markle was supposed to roll out this perfectly posh, pastel-drenched brand called America's Riviera Orchard. Think lavender fields, jam jars, and I'm not like other duchesses vibes. But plot twist, she ghosted her own brand name. Now it's called As Ever, which sounds like a closing line in a high school yearbook, not a bougie lifestyle company. What does As Ever even mean? And listen to this. The product rollout? A hot mess. She dropped a few jars of jam, literally jam, and crepe mix. But here's the scandal. There were barely any products available. Some say it was a fake sellout. Others whisper there was no inventory to begin with. Either way, she created a wait list for jam. Yes, darling, a wait list for freaking jam. I don't know who's advising her, but this reeks of trust fund marketing intern energy. No employees, no infrastructure, no plan, and yet she expects the world to line up like it's the new iPhone drop.
It's not this like amazing collaboration that's going to create a dynastical fortune for them. It's just them groveling.
Now let's talk about the Netflix deal, because this is where it gets juicier than that $28 jar of raspberry spread. So Netflix now has a product department. Who knew? And apparently, Meghan was slotted in to be the face of a little side hustle. But she didn't build a team, she didn't hire anyone until after the headline broke. And reportedly, she had zero ownership in the business. Translation? She's just slapping her name on jars and cashing checks. You can't call it a business if your biggest contribution is signing off on the font. This is all giving very, I woke up and decided to be a lifestyle mogul, with none of the grit. Meanwhile, she's out here dropping tea mixes and shortbread cookie kits like it's 2008 Pinterest core. I mean, did Gwyneth Paltrow teach her nothing?
I think that she was definitely they're trying to get some of that 100 million that they plowed into this disaster back.
Now here's where the plot really thickens. Word on the very chic street is that Meghan was deep in talks to collab with Flamingo Estate. Think Aesop's richer, cooler, avocado oil drizzled cousin. It was supposed to be the move. Meghan plus Flamingo Estate equals match made in minimalist luxury heaven. But just when it was getting serious, she pulled out and then launched her own suspiciously similar brand, complete with eerily familiar fonts, a near-identical aesthetic, and a name so vague it could double as a forgotten perfume ad. Girl, did you really just clone their vibe and slap on your own jam label? I'm not saying it's a ripoff, but if it looks like a jam jar and smells like a jam jar. Meanwhile, let's not forget her other venture turned flop, the podcast, canceled, canned, cut like a background character from Suits. And now she wants to be a jam queen? Where is the vision? Where is the story? Where is the bee farm in Montecito? The real issue here is branding whiplash. Is she a rebel duchess, a disruptor, or the royal Martha Stewart? Because right now, she's trying to be all of the above and ends up being none of the above. If she just embraced the chaos and sold us tea of regret, a soothing herbal blend for when your podcast bombs, I'd say take my money. But instead, we're stuck with jam and confusion.
To waltz into Wimbledon looking like a Renaissance portrait dipped in sunlight. Meanwhile, William? Baby, he's not even replying to the group chat. The future king is ghosting so hard, Casper's out here filing a trademark claim.
Angela, because it's true, isn't it? William does want to banish him, which is why Harry is now sort of dangling this carrot to the royal family via Charlotte Griffiths.
Now, let's rewind the royal reel a bit. Harry, our California-based exile, apparently believes that when the king, God forbid, dies, William is going to slam the gates of Buckingham shut so fast he'll leave scorch marks on the marble. So what's Harry doing in the meantime? Dangling himself in front of the palace like a vintage Dior coat at a clearance sale. Come on, someone buy me back. But William's in his Marie Kondo era. If it doesn't spark loyalty, he's not keeping it. And listen, I get it. Harry wants to carve out his identity, but right now it's giving podcast guest who won't leave the studio. Every time the royals breathe, Harry and Meghan leak a mysterious story. And this latest secret meeting between their team and palace aides? Girl, that was pure fanfic with a sprinkle of desperation.
But he's advised by people, Californian advisors, who don't understand Britain. So they let the Mail do the photographs. They think it's clever for him to recreate.
And you just know Meghan was behind that timing. I mean, the second Catherine steps into the royal spotlight looking like Wimbledon was created just to match her wardrobe, boom! The Sussex camp conveniently leaks a scoop. A meeting? On that day? Please, that's not PR strategy, it's main character syndrome on steroids. But here's the twist. William didn't even blink. No reaction, no denial, no sternly worded letter from the palace. And that, my loves, is where the real power is. Because Meghan's whole PR playbook, it thrives on opposition, drama, headlines, a royal rebuttal. But when William doesn't show up to the fight, suddenly it's just Meghan shadowboxing in front of a flashing cursor.
So, and I thought that the fact that they were only there for 10 minutes, that there was a camera.
Meanwhile, Charles is trying to be the royal Switzerland, navigating this minefield while praying someone sends him a Father's Day card. But let's be real, every time he plays peacemaker, it's like trying to hug a hurricane while wearing a velvet crown. William wants boundaries, Charles wants brunch, and Harry wants both attention and an apology with a side of Netflix residuals. And can we talk about Catherine for a second? Because while Meghan is out here whispering about secret palace rendezvous and revenge memoirs, Catherine's just existing, gracefully, regally, and without uttering a single syllable. She didn't need a podcast, she didn't need a comeback tour, she just showed up in white and ate. The girl didn't steal the show, she is the show. And the best part? She did it while Meghan was trying to break the internet. Plot twist, no one cared.
Forward, when he hasn't said an apology, hasn't got an apology for his father, who actually only in the beginning of...
Now here's the conspiracy no one's talking about. Are we sure this isn't on purpose? I mean, what if William is playing chess while Harry's still eating the checkers? He's not just ignoring them, he's erasing them. Palace insiders say William doesn't even mention Harry's name anymore. Not in meetings, not in Christmas planning, not even when the royal corgis bark in Morse code. And that, my friends, is the real punishment. No scandal, no drama, just nothingness. The royal mute button isn't just activated, it's locked in, password protected, and buried somewhere under the throne. So where does that leave Harry and Meghan? Floating in the royal abyss, desperately trying to light fires with a broken match. Their stories are getting less press, their leaks less traction. And without William playing villain, they've got no plot, just vibes, and not the good kind.